The entire factory went silent the moment the machine exploded in sparks, throwing off a piece of its metallic panel and shutting down the entire production line. Engineers scrambled. Technicians stood frozen. Even the cleaning staff stopped mid-mop. Everyone stared at the massive CNC machine, worth exactly $7 million, motionless and smoldering, as if mocking every person in the plant. The CEO, a stiff, silver-haired man named Mr. Harold Brent, stormed into the operations bay, his icy blue eyes sweeping over the chaos. Before we continue, if you are watching our video for the first time, please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, and share to friends. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. Also, a huge thank you to our amazing viewers and 200+ subscribers. You are the reason we keep growing and pushing boundaries. We appreciate your support every step of the way. Back to the story. Who touched the controls? Mr. Brent's voice cut through the air like a knife. No one responded. A thick silence lingered in the air until one young supervisor stuttered, "Sir, we were running the diagnostics, and it just blew." Brent turned toward the senior engineer, his jaw clenched. "That machine prints our aerospace components. Every minute it's down, we lose thousands. If it doesn't start running by noon tomorrow, you're all fired." "But sir," the engineer began, "we don't even know what caused the shutdown yet. This is a proprietary German build. I don't care if it came from Mars. Get me someone who can fix it, now." That's when Jackson entered. Tall, dark-skinned, barely 22, with grease-stained overalls and worn-out boots, Jackson quietly stepped forward from the edge of the maintenance crowd. He'd only been hired 4 days earlier as an intern in the machine shop, assigned mostly to cleaning and tool inventory. "I might be able to fix it, sir," he said calmly. Everyone turned. Some chuckled. One of the supervisors rolled his eyes. "This is a $7 million precision tool, not a blender, kid. Step aside." But Jackson didn't move. "Let me take a look. You've got nothing to lose." Brent raised an eyebrow. What's your background?" Jackson looked him square in the eye. "Mechanical systems, diagnostics. But more importantly, I was trained by someone who knows these machines inside and out." "And who would that be?" Brent asked sarcastically. "My father." "Oh, and who's your father?" "The ghost of Tesla." Jackson didn't reply. He walked over to the machine, ignoring the murmurs and raised eyebrows behind him. He ran his hand along the panel gently, listening to the hum, or the absence of it. Then, he removed a side latch with ease, revealing a panel only someone familiar with the model would know existed. "How did he know about that?" someone whispered. Jackson removed a tiny motherboard and inspected it carefully. "It's not the hardware. The machine's thermal load sensor was overridden by a firmware patch. Someone uploaded a diagnostic that wasn't compatible with the system's language." He turned. "Did any of you install a generic patch file recently?" Silence. One junior IT guy stepped forward, sweating. I did. Just yesterday. We were behind on updates." Brent's face darkened. Jackson continued. "You uploaded a patch meant for a 530 series. This is a 590E. Same exterior, different internal protocols. You forced a language mismatch and shorted the sensor." No one spoke. Jackson grabbed his tablet, connected to the machine's port, rewrote the patch code by hand using binary logic, and resynced the sensor within 15 minutes. Then, without a word, he powered it on. The machine coughed, hummed, then roared back to life, louder, smoother, and more stable than before. Everyone stared in disbelief. The CEO was speechless. Jackson stepped back, wiped his hands, and returned the tablet to the bench. "She's fine now. But next time, don't patch without checking compatibility." The floor was quiet for a long moment. Then Brent walked over, slowly, calculatingly. "You said your father trained you?" Jackson nodded. "What's his name?" "Jeremy Miles." That name sent a visible ripple through the older staff in the room. One of the senior engineers even gasped. Brent's jaw stiffened. "You mean Jeremy the Machine Whisperer?" The man who rebuilt the Estron 800 without schematics. Jackson nodded again. Yes, that's my father. Harold Brent's eyes narrowed. He used to work here. Yes, Jackson said quietly. Until he was fired. By you. Gasps filled the room. Brent looked like he'd seen a ghost. I remember Jeremy, said one of the older supervisors. He was the best. New machines better than the manuals did. What happened to him was dirty. Brent suddenly turned red. He stole company equipment. No, Jackson cut in, his voice cold and sharp. He took home a backup drive with permission to run overnight simulations. You claimed it was theft, even though it was logged and approved. You wanted him gone because he spoke up against your faulty inventory reports. You have no proof. I don't need to prove it. You know what you did. And now, the same man you cast out just saved your $7 million pride. Brent's lips trembled. He turned to the board of directors who had gathered silently at the edge. We had to maintain company integrity. One of them, a woman with gray curls and a clipboard, spoke up. Integrity? You let your ego drive out one of the brightest minds we ever had. Now his son walks in and saves our entire production line. The floor manager stepped forward. Sir, we should offer this young man a permanent position. His skills are beyond what we've seen in years. Brent's pride fought hard to keep his composure. Fine. We'll keep him. Junior technician contract. 6-month probation. Jackson looked him straight in the eye. No. Everyone froze. What do you mean no? Brent snapped. I didn't do this for a position, Jackson said. I did this for the people who depend on this factory. I did it to show that you can't bury integrity. You fired my father, but you didn't kill his legacy. He turned and walked toward the exit. But just before he left, the director board member called out. Wait, Jackson. He turned. Would you consider joining us directly under the R&D division? We need minds like yours. And maybe you can help us make amends. Jackson paused, then nodded once. Under one condition. I don't work for him. She smiled. Agreed. Brent stormed out, his empire slowly slipping from his grip. Later that evening, Jackson called his father. Dad, I walked into the same factory you left years ago. Fixed the machine they couldn't understand. The CEO didn't know who I was until it was too late. On the other end, the old man chuckled. Proud of you, son. Not just for what you did, but how you did it. Moral lesson. Sometimes, society will try to bury the truth under pride and politics. But the roots of integrity grow deep. Never let the world define your worth. Excellence needs no announcement. It introduces itself when the world least expects it. This story was brought to you by Elliot Stories. See you on the next one. Elliot Stories cares.